No. So I got to the point where I was like, I told my mom, I was like, I can't keep working like this. Like, I can do our admin and our operational things, and that's about all that I have left in me. So I started doing that, and that was pretty much like last year, in very end of 2020, like, yeah, 2020 into last year. And then I got to the point where I was just like, I have to pull all the way out. Like, I'm so fragmented as a person. I'm just broken down. I'm disheveled. I'm like, I'm not me. Like, I'm not me. I've gotten so far removed. I took on this identity as a result of being pregnant and being a mom. And it was something that I was passionate about and something that I was really good at. And like, I swear these hands were just like blessed by God and the ancestors, because I have been in some birth situations where the outcome was just supposed to be very different. And I just covered that mom, covered that family, covered that baby, and like just did what I had to do. And so I know I was chosen and blessed to do that work. And I know I had to do that work to get to where I'm at right now. And it instilled an ethic in me, and it's instilled a business mind and a practice and a love and a passion for healthcare and health communication. And it instilled a love for people for me. But I got to the point where I was like, okay, I've done the work. Like, I've done what I'm supposed to do. And I always thought that I would like be able to like kind of come out of retirement. I joke around with like my friends and family, come out of retirement, and I could not even pull myself out of retirement. Like, and that's how I know. I was like, I think I've just served my purpose. Like, all of the families that I worked with, and the lives that I've touched, and the people that I've reached, even the people that I haven't worked with, and the people who would just like, you know, interact and engage with me online, and like, you know, the questions and the, like, even all of those people, I feel like I served my purpose and I did my work, and I did what I was supposed to do for that phase of my life and for who I was. But I became so unrecognizable, and that honestly, it scared me, because I'm like, what am I living for? Like, what am I doing? Like, who am I when my identity is not attached to being a mom or being somebody who's birthed or being a doula? Like, who am I? And I didn't have the answers to that. And so that's really when my whole life unraveled last year. It unraveled, like the old me unraveled, because it was like, it had to, in order for this like new me, or like, it's a new me, but like a new me that's rooted in who I'm supposed to be, who I've always been, right? And so I've just grown, and I've blossomed, but I unraveled. I unraveled. And because I was just like, who am I? If I'm not a mom, and if I'm not doing the work that's attached to, or that was birthed out of me being a mom, like, who am I? And so I chose to go on this journey, and I chose to get to this point of like where I'm at right now. And it has been a process. I had to process it more in the fact that like I was giving up this work, and I still haven't even like fully tied the loop on it. This is the first time that I've like actually talked about this, and I've actually sat down and said it with the intention of like putting it out there, because I was like, how do you walk away from something so great? I mean, we were like so visible to so many people. There were like things that were happening behind the scenes, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna pull out of that. Like, I literally, the guilt that I felt, the guilt, like, and this being a work that was tied to like my mom and I doing it together, like the guilt, I had to process so much. I was sad, I was angry, I was confused. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? Who am I gonna be? And it was a process, and it was something that I had to process. And I finally processed it and found peace and made peace with it. And I'm like able to sit here and talk about it and actually say it out loud, because I've rebuilt myself. I've rebuilt myself from the ground up. Like, I'm Stephanie. Like, I'm genuinely Stephanie. Like, I know what it means to be Stephanie now. And that excites me, and it ultimately put me here right in front of you. And so I'm so grateful for that. Like, I'm so grateful that I listened to my spirit. I'm so grateful that I trusted God, that I trusted the ancestors, because I did the work that my ancestors wanted me to do. I will always do the work that they want me to do. And I found like comfort and peace in that. Like I will always do the work that my ancestors want me to do. And so here I am now creating a space where I'm giving other people to learn how to process what they're feeling and what they're experiencing. And I think my work will probably even still come back to doula work and like helping people process their births, helping people process, helping people process the fact that they're pregnant, helping people process the fact that they're in labor and birth, and helping them process postpartum. Like everything is a process. That entire journey is a process. Then you have to process it as you go. And so I'm sure I'll find my way back, into birth and like in creating the space to process that. I'm learning how to process change, like when you're changing as an individual, and oh my God, right? Like, oh my God, and there's so much to learn, and I'm so excited to like seek out mentorship and have mentors who really guide me through what it means to be in mental health, like what it means to create a space for people to process within mental health. Like, anyway, so I will go back to that. So I'm so excited for that journey, but you also have to process love. Like I had to learn how to process love for myself. I had to learn how to process the lack of love that I had for myself. I have to learn how to process heartache and heartbreak and just infidelity. I've had to learn how to process family relationships and like all of the things that come with your family relationships being just very trying and heavy and like tumultuous sometimes and confusing, right? Like, so I've had to learn how to process all of these things. And I think within that, I'm like, I know I'm not going through this by myself. We all know that. Like, we all know that. It's just being able to see yourself within someone else's process and like ultimately bringing yourself to a certain point because you have somebody who's essentially gone through something similar, or they can just relate. So that's really how I got to this point. That's what I was doing before. That's why I'm no longer a doula now, is really going through the burnout, which I think the burnout was ultimately just like the universe pulling me out of that work and saying, okay, we have something else that we need you to do, guys. Like, I got this plan over here, but you cannot get to this plan if you continue to be this person, right? Like, because that is not Stephanie. That's the mom who became a doula. Who's Stephanie? Because Stephanie is somewhere in there, right? Like, she in there. But I was hiding. And so, and I literally feel like I got pulled out. Like I physically feel it in my body. Like I got pulled out of that. And like, basically, I was looking to my left, looking to my right, and I'm just standing there. And I'm like, okay, so who am I going to be? And I was like taking on identities even within that, like trying to figure it out, like taking on identities that I thought were me. And it's just like, no, it's not until I got like literally drug across like the hot coals where I realized like, no, who are you? Not who are you trying to be? Not who are you trying to be? Who are you? And so that was a process, and it's been so much work, but I'm happy that I got here. I'm so happy that I was a doula. I will always be a doula. My brain honestly just goes into like doula mode, and I want to like share so much information with people when they're considering, pregnancy, or they're considering their labor and birth options and their postpartum. Like it's never going to leave me. Like it's never going to leave me. It's like ingrained in me, right? And so I will always be that person. I will always be that doula. She will always be a part of this version of Stephanie now, but it's just not a part of my day-to-day. And yeah, I love it. I loved the work. I loved the person that I was within it, and I loved the freedom that it afforded me. People are afraid to talk about that, but I make great money, and I created a great business with my mom. And so that was hard to walk away from, and I had to create stability for myself outside of doing that work. And that was something that I had to process, because I'm like, I'm going back into like, not being a business owner, not being an entrepreneur in the same regard. And like, that was a process. So I'll talk about that, and just like what I did in between while I was searching for myself and like how I had to survive basically and like create stability. So I'll share that with you guys. But yeah, I'm no longer a practicing doula. I will always be a doula. Once a doula, always a doula. And shout out to all of my doulas and my birth workers that are out there. I salute you. I honor you. I praise you. I respect you. And I will always be here for mentorship and for guidance and for extra information. And I'm so honored. I'm so excited to be a part or to be on this journey and to be entering into this next phase of my life. I would not be here without my doula journey. So thank you to all of you that supported me as a doula, supported my mom and I when we were, bear with me, a mother-daughter doula duo. And now she's bear with me, Deandra the doula. And I don't know if that's actually a thing, but listen, it may be. So thank you for tuning into this video. If you do have doula questions or you need information for yourself or for your partner, dads, if you need information, you can still always reach out to me. Maybe I need to put that somewhere in my bio or something, but I'm a resource and I can always like send you out to a bigger resource. And I've helped people, even not practicing, I've helped people throughout their journeys, throughout their labor, birth, and postpartum journeys in little ways. And so I'm still open and available to doing that. So feel free to slide into my DMs. But thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. We made it to video 3 of this first series. We made it. You can always find me online at Stephanie L. Dixon. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. You hit that little bell button. It'll just notify you when the videos come up, and then you don't have to remember. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, my name is Stephanie L. Dixon. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.